It's Wings Week! As promised last week, I told you we were gonna get into the Wings short films this week. I know so many of you have been telling me that like you were really, really excited for me to get into these, so that's what we're gonna do. So one per day all this week, starting this video that you're watching this in. But I wanted to come on and give a little bit of a disclaimer before we get into the series for those who may not be ready for some spoilers and stuff like that.
Spoilers.
I'm assuming if you're watching a lot of these, you've probably caught up on most of the spoilers, but I did want to let you know, we're going to really, really be digging into Damien during these 7 videos that you guys are going to watch. And a lot of the theories and things that I came up with, it's going to basically talk about the entirety of Damien. So if you haven't read Damien and you are worried about getting spoilers about Damien, there are going to be a ton of spoilers in this, including the ending of Damien. So, but it really, really fits in with where I felt this was going and with I felt what was happening in these videos. So just wanted to come on and give you a quick disclaimer. I hope that you guys enjoy this. Please, please, please leave your comments below. This has been such an amazing journey, and I love you all. It's a great day to play, everybody! Welcome on in to the channel, yeah. Whether it's your first time here or you are rejoining us, thank you so much for being here with us today. You are loved, you are appreciated, you're always welcome here in this channel, and you are enough. Today is the first episode in Wings Week. We are going to be getting back into the BU. We're going to be starting with Begin. So we're going to do all the Wings short films this week. 1 per day. So you're going to probably be getting one starting Monday night, and you'll have one Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Wow! And that'll complete Wings Week. My goal with this starting out, and I don't know where that's going to transform, is to try to do these all and record them all as closely together as possible. Because while I haven't seen them, I have to imagine that like there's going to be a lot of things that I'm going to try to put together, like pieces I'm going to try to put together in the end, because I'm guessing that they're all pieces of a puzzle if there's 7 parts. So I want to kind of do them as close together and record them as close together as possible, so when I can do at the end on the final video, like I'll do like a culmination. So we'll do the final video, and then we'll do like okay, here's all my thoughts on the entire Wings short films. I think that's probably the best way with the limited knowledge that I have to do this. So that's what we're going to try to do. And I don't really know where this is going to go or how this is going to be. So yeah, what I do know about these for the most part is these videos all are a song from the album that the individuals did. Now, to try to stay with what I've been trying to do on this journey, I'm not going to listen to the song first. And the reason for that is when I went and did the research, because I was like, oh, well, they're tied with the song. Maybe I'll do like the song and the video all in one video. But it looks as though these short films were all released like in anticipation to the release of the Wings album. If I'm not mistaken, it looked like these were all released like in September, and then on October of that following year, then they released the actual album themselves. So these were kind of like teasers. So I'm gonna try to do it in that order. So this week is all gonna be the short film specifically, and then the following week we'll go and we'll start actually listening to the songs and stuff. And I'm sure there'll be more things to add. But yeah, that's just the way that I'm choosing to do it, and that's the way that we're gonna go. So hopefully that does well. I'm super, super excited to get into this though, and I hope that you guys have been excited for the journey. And at the end of all of this, if you guys tune in on Saturday, I have a huge announcement. I know that you BTS fans that are probably watching this right now will probably be happy about this, but I have a huge announcement coming Saturday, and we're gonna celebrate my birthday as well. In fact, as of the day that this gets released, January 3rd, it will be my birthday. So make sure to also be kind and wish me happy birthday in the comments below. That would be really nice. But okay, let's do this. I'm excited to get into this. I have no idea what we're in store for. Let's go.
The rhythms of day and night, two different words coming from two opposite poles, mingle during this time.
Okay, we always pause during these, a lot, because the whole point is to try to figure out what's happening in the view. That is from. Hold on. Hold on. It's probably going to take me a while to find it, so.
1 hour later.
This is from the beginning. Now, the translations in here are going to be a little bit different, because I know each of the Damien books, like, because it's translated, are going to be slightly different. But basically, this is from the first chapter of Damien. At the end of the first paragraph, it says, "Two worlds passed there, one through the other. From two poles came forth day and night." So I think that that's where they're going with this, which also makes sense because this is titled Begin. So I think in this video, we're really going to start seeing the beginning of this. I'm going to go back and we're just going to listen to it again. And we'll go through. I like that stuck out to me so much. I just wanted to go get my book just to make sure that we had it on standby.
The rhythms of day and night, two different words coming from two opposite poles, mingle during this time.
Yeah. Interesting with whistling. Kind of like Kill Bill-esque. Okay. Jungkook. He's got the bird on his shirt now. 2. Flaming piano. Bird, broken, bird on his shirt. Oh, the painting. All right, I'm gonna be writing all this stuff down. We're gonna kind of go through this whole thing, and then we're gonna come back and go through it. Piano again on fire. Painting's now on fire. It's supposed to be Sugar? Or V? What? With the fire and the pairings, I'm guessing that it's Sugar, but it may not be. It may also be V. We have the sparrow coming up again. At least it looks like a sparrow, and then his wings. Okay. 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 Wow. All right. We have a lot to go through. In a very, very short and concise video. There's a lot of really cool pieces here, and there's more. I'm going to have to go and refer to the book sometime. So there's going to be a lot of editing in this. But the first thing that I want to do, I want to start here so we can just talk about some of the things that happened when this first started, because this is really interesting. This is kind of reminiscent of the way that Jin woke up on the bed. And I still haven't decided whether or not... Okay, formulating your thoughts for this is really, really hard because there's so much going on. We've talked about the loss of innocence into youth, which is basically spoilers for anybody that hasn't read Damien. And if you have paid attention to any of this, you probably are at least familiar with Damien. The story of Damien is all about losing your innocence, losing your youth. And it is about Emil Sinclair's journey into adulthood. And he kind of comes from this very, good religious family. And it's about his journey. I don't know how much I'm going to talk about the book because I don't want to give too many spoilers, but I feel like there's some things that just have to be talked about here. Now, the reason that all this really, really sticks out to me, so we have the bird here. I don't know what the burning piano necessarily stands for yet, but we know that Suga is attached to fire, and I believe that is a pair. Also, interesting that there's a J. Cole poster on the wall or on this door here. I don't know if that was intentionally left there, but so assuming that the fire is tied to Suga. Now, with all of this, though, my theories have been that this entire thing is some kind of story about the loss of youth, the loss of innocence. And we move that. Now, there's a lot of other things going on in the story. I also think that there's a butterfly effect thing going on. I think that there's some kind of time thing going on. And I think that there's two ways that this goes. Possibly more. Jin is either kind of like the overseer, the Peter Pan, leading the boys into different places. And if the butterfly effect thing exists, then he's trying to somehow change the way that things may have happened, is one of my guesses. The second part, though, with that is I'm still not certain as to whether these events happened because it seems like there's almost a downward spiral that happens at some point, with each of them. At some point, all the boys were happy and together. And then an event happened and they're not together anymore. Now, whether that is they just moved away or that they're no longer there, I don't know. If we go back and you have read some of my previous stuff or watched some of my previous stuff, we talked about Peter Pan, and the original Peter Pan story was not Peter Pan at all. It was an infant child that died basically a week after its life, and that was really like Peter Pan leading everybody on. But Peter Pan in that situation, before Peter Pan existed, was actually dead. So he's like an angel leading them into there. So part of me wonders if Jin isn't just having a hard time with youth, but if Jin himself is actually dead, or if he's trying to somehow move on and is stuck in kind of this purgatory period where he's going through and reliving these different moments trying to change it and maybe not realizing that yet. Or if Jin is these things are happening in Jin's head because Jin's the only one alive, and that all of the others, that all of his friends are past and he can't cope with it, and so therefore maybe they represent a side of him, or they're not real at all and each one of them represents a different side of Jin that's internally struggling, because that is kind of what Damien is about. The book Damien is about Sinclair's internal struggles, and Damien is one of his many mentors that he has to get him and guide him on his path. And so there's so many ways that this could go, but what I do believe is there is a whole and collective aspect going on here. And anyway, I don't know how I'm going to be talking about this. I have so much on my head when I just see this. There's so much going on here. But I think that the fire is the Suga and Jungkook match and pair. Now, the bird part is very, very interesting here, and we're going to see the painting as well is interesting. We're going to talk about that here in a second when it comes up again. This is so crazy. So again, this is very Jin-esque, which if they're all a piece of him would make sense. Okay, so here. Okay. I'm gonna need a few minutes to find this. Okay, so this is interesting because this kind of looks like it could be a female character or it could be Suga because it almost looks like there's a long hair. So in chapter 4 of Damien, the chapter is titled Beatrice, and Beatrice is one of the people that I'm trying to remember this as best as I can, but one of the people that Sinclair meets, and I don't even think he physically met her, but he sees her in a park. And in this chapter, he ends up painting. He wants to paint Beatrice. Now, there's this really weird thing in Damien that talks about kind of like androgynistic characteristics of like that people can share both like male and female characteristics. He talks about that. That's part of the reason, like he's got this like weird attraction towards Damien. And again, there's so much more to that you guys can fill in. But when he goes to paint Beatrice, he doesn't really necessarily like remember. And so like the painting kind of comes out also androgynous. And the way that they describe her is kind of also androgynous. And she's got like some manly figures, but when they specifically describe the painting, it's like he can't quite get it, and then he just lets his emotions flow. And so like I feel like he's trying, like in his mind he's doing that, and then when we get here to the painting again, this almost seems like it is a like representation of him doing it, where the colors are just kind of like flowing over the canvas, which is really, really interesting here. I don't know, like, and again, I think that this is supposed to be Suga based on that, like based on their pairings, from what I think that their pairings are at the moment. But it doesn't mean that he couldn't be seeing something else. But it would be interesting because maybe that we have that attraction kind of level there. It doesn't necessarily have to be a real relationship, like a romantic relationship, because in this, in the book, Sinclair finds himself attracted to Damien, but it's not like in a sexual way. In fact, he's more like kind of like in love with Damien's mom almost. And so like what I think is happening here is I think Jungkook might be taking on the role of Sinclair. He's the youngest in the group. He definitely seems like through all the videos, he's the youngest in the group, the most innocent in the group. That's like just trying to like get things together. And he also is like with the representation here, he's wearing a lot of white. He wakes up in the white bed. Like, I feel like he may be with the painting and everything that's going on, that this may be his evolution. Now, each one of them, I think, is going to be losing their innocence. But I think that Jungkook right here in this particular video is supposed to be Sinclair painting Suga Beatrice. And then we see this again in his eyes. Now, later in the chapter, he also paints a bird. I believe it's and it's funny because I mentioned sparrow, but I believe it's a sparrow that kind of looks like it's coming out of an egg. And so like he doesn't know why he painted it like that. He's like copying like a coat of arms things that he saw. But if we go through, we have a lot of things. I'm just going to skip forward really quick. If we go through to, let's say that this is his egg, because the whole thing is like a rebirth thing. The sparrow hawk is like a rebirth thing. So if we do that, it sounds like the egg's cracked, and these almost look like feathers. Like this is supposed to represent the Sinclair aspect of it. And then obviously these are probably, my guess is that these other ones represent other members and that we don't see them yet because we haven't seen their stories. But this combined with the paintings really, really leads me to believe that he's the innocence right now, that like he's the young one. We have kind of this duality. We also see over here in this little one right here, this also looks like another painting, and he does try to paint Beatrice's painting multiple times. So I have to believe that this is directly related to that. And I don't know yet. Maybe this is that chapter. There is technically 8 chapters in the book. There's only 7 of the videos, but maybe this is like the chapter of Beatrice. Because it's just all of these paintings just lead up to that. We also kind of have like a water fire situation playing where like all of this is going outside. And then we also have in the painting, the eyes were like, because the painting starts on fire, which is interesting because in one of the previous videos, the lotus painting that Suga's sitting next to starts on fire. We also know about the fire that Suga starts. But the paint, it's like almost dripping down and like it almost looks like blood splatter here. Right? And then we kind of have like this flower-esque thing, which looks like the Japanese version of, I believe that was Run, that they have, no, I Need You, that they have that, and they have like all the flowers and stuff like that. So this looks like that. And this also, did one of them have this painting on their shirt in one of the previous videos? And like it's all running down, and it almost looks like tears. And then we have kind of his metamorphosis. So I think this is like him spreading his wings out as well, like his rebirth. But it's interesting because a lot of times when these things happen, they're happening in these really, really dark spaces. So I'm not certain. I still don't know. We're assuming that Jungkook is dead, right? Because Jungkook gets hit by a car. That's the assumption. At this point in time, I still think I'm leaning towards that Jin is still dead and that like a lot of these other things are like inside him. But it also could be the other way where Jin, again, is the Peter Pan aspect where even if he is, maybe he's still trying to lead them to happiness. But either way, there's a lot here and this is really, really incredible. My mind is like just racing right now. And I'm glad that I'm going to be doing a lot of them kind of like in order here. Oh my God. Okay. So I hope that kind of makes sense. I feel like as we go along in the videos, as we see more, that the pieces will start to come together better. These are my initial thoughts for the first Wing short video. Want to preface that. And I know that there's a lot still that I have to catch on to, but those are my initial thoughts of this. So let me know what you guys thought. This is incredible. We're going to do a new Wings short every single day as we go on. I'm really, really excited for you guys to do this with me. And yeah, so sorry for the spoilers, not sorry. I did warn you guys at the beginning of the video, so if you skip through that, I can't help it. But I have a feeling that we're going to be referring to this a lot more. So thanks. Leave everything below. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you already haven't. If nobody told you that they love you today, don't forget, I love you. You are appreciated. You are always welcome here in this channel, and you are enough. And last, but certainly not least, it was a great day to play. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.